Hey community, how are you? Janine Macklin here, transformational speaker, your wealth guide and catalyst. And I want to hop on here right quick. I have been doing my best to be on here every day this week. Today is Thursday. I've done it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today, Wednesday, I did Wednesday Wisdom. Tuesday was a tip and Monday was mindset. So today, it's really Thursday truth more than anything else. And what I want to ask you is, did it happen for 5 minutes, or it may even happen for 10 minutes, but did you milk it for 5 years? Oftentimes, circumstances will happen in our lives, right? I think I'm going to find my earbuds. And the circumstance will happen, and we'll deal with it. Now, the circumstance itself may have only been for, let's say, maybe the lighting's better in here. It may have only been for an hour, maybe 2 hours. And then it was done. Or maybe it would have been for 2 days or a month. And then it was done. My point is, whatever it was happened and it's over with. Okay? So think about it. Think about something that's happened in your life. And it hurt you. You know, you were disappointed, you were angry, you were mad about it, and it hurt you. Maybe a breakup. That seems to do it often. Maybe you were fired. Maybe you were written up at work for something you didn't do or thought was unfair. Maybe in your business practices as an entrepreneur, something happened with a client. Maybe something happened with your family. Maybe something happened while you were growing up. Maybe there was abuse. Whatever it was that happened, what I want to ask you is it happening now or is it done and over? And if it's happening now, that's one thing. But in most instances, it's done and over. It's done. And yet, if I ask you today about it, you could probably regurgitate for me every single step by step of what happened, what was done to you, what was wrong, what they did wrong, what wasn't fair, how come it shouldn't have happened, and on and on and on. What I just described to you is called a story. So did it happen for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes? Did it happen 7 or 8, 9 years ago? And you're still milking the story? It could be that you were abused. It could be that you went through a terrible divorce. It could be that you were fired unexpectedly. Whatever it is, it's done. It's over with. It's not happening right now in this moment. Matter of fact, there's a whole new thing happening right now in this moment. And yet, if you were asked about it, you could relay the story as if it had happened last week or last year. Excuse me, as if it didn't happen last week or last year. You could relay the story as if it was happening right now, with the same intensity, the same emotion, and all of that. And what I want to ask you is, did it happen 5, 10 years ago? Hello, my dear, bonjour. And you're milking it? You keep telling yourself the same story over and over. You keep playing that scenario to yourself over and over and over again. And you know what that's called? That's called playing the victim. Because the situation is over with. The circumstance doesn't even happen now. The breakup was 10 years ago. The divorce was 25 years ago. Whatever it was, it's over with. And yet and still today in this moment, you can repeat that story to me. If I was working with you or coaching with you, you give me that story as a reason for why you haven't achieved your goals, why you haven't found happiness, why you haven't found peace in your life, why you haven't reached your health goals, why you aren't living a fulfilled life. And what I want you to recognize in this Thursday tip is there are a lot of those stories that we're telling ourselves that keep us stuck where we are. And I'm not sure what the gratification is of telling the story over and over and over, except you want sympathy. But more importantly, what you want is to stay stuck in that story and use that story to validate your lack of taking progress, making progress, and taking the steps and actions to move toward where it is you say you want to be. The fact that you were divorced 10 years ago, the fact that you were abused 15 years ago, the fact that many women, and we've heard the story, have been molested when they were children, all of that stuff that has happened to us in the past. Let me see. Let me get to my men. The fact that your father wasn't around, the fact that maybe you didn't get the male support that you needed growing up, all of that's in the past. But in this very moment, you very well could be milking it, which is robbing you of the joy, the fulfillment, and the happiness you want, you desire, you may want to manifest and bring into your life because of one thing: the story you keep telling yourself. The story about what they did to you, the story of how you've been done wrong, the story of who did this to you and who did that to you. And because of what they did to you, you are the way you are now. Really? Nothing has happened in the 10 or 25 or 6 years since that situation or that incident that you could have created a healing for yourself, that you could pull a lesson from that experience and then stand on that lesson, allow it to propel you forward toward your next steps on your journey. No. You'd rather hold on to the story. I remember someone said to me, I've been carrying that for 30 years. And I thought, why? Why? Why would you rather carry the story and carry the BS and carry the story than let it go, heal, release, and move on to the next thing? Except for to use it as an excuse for why you're not moving forward where you want to be in your life, and your life doesn't look the way you want to look. Stories, stories, stories. And the stories become your truth. They ultimately become your life. And yet you'll look out here and say, well, how come their life is like that and mine is like this? It's the stories you keep telling yourself. Now, we get to decide if we're going to upgrade that story. We get to find the nugget of healing in each and every story of each and every experience we've gone through. We get to do that, and in so doing that, we take away the power from the story. We take away the power that the story may have. And then we take away that power, we diffuse it to its least common denominator so that it means nothing to us going forward. So take some time today. Stay in your own head instead of everybody else's, the news, the TV, Facebook, and everything. See what stories you're telling yourself. And see if the stories you're telling yourself are moving you toward the life you say you want, the fulfillment, the happiness, the joy you say you want, the financial health and freedom you say you want. Are the stories keeping you in limbo because you keep going back and forth? Well, this happened. Well, I'm not sure. Well, this happened. Well, I don't know. Are the stories ultimately become your shield that you've put up in front of you that will not allow you to connect with others, will not allow you to have the happiness and the fulfillment that you desire and deserve and wants to come into your life? But now the story is, quote, protecting you so you don't get hurt again? My question to you is, when are you willing to drop the story and start to live your life completely and fully in this moment, this present moment right now? Pull out the nuggets from the past, see what the value is from the lesson, allow it to shrink the story to the point that it doesn't even exist. It's almost like, why would you carry any story for 20, 25, or 30 years? Heck, you keep living life, there'll be a whole set of new stories to tell. How come you're choosing to play the victim? Because that's all stories do, is keep us in our victimhood. Okay, East Coast, have a great lunch. I'm sorry I got on late. I hope it's not too cold, too watery, too crazy, too coronavirus over there for you. West Coast, we're kind of damp and wet over here. Sending you all much love, peace and blessings, simply knowing that you are surrounded by an incredible love and light. That as you keep your mind centered on truth, on wholeness, on your faith, knowing that no one's going to leave this planet because of corona or any other virus until it's their time. And so until then, take precautionary measures that you can to take care of yourself and your family. And know, again, there's a story. You talk to people, everybody's got a story. Be mindful of the stories you're telling. And recognize if they're moving you forward toward where it is you say you want to go, if they're keeping you stuck where you are. Because you're the one that's telling the story to yourself. Take good care. Bye for now.